Today, I want to talk about things in ediscovery that we do kind of half-assed. Things we don't really care about, but we sort of going through the motions because we have to. Before you say that's everything in discovery, that's not really true. There are a few specific things, even more so than you might think. So today, let's talk about that. The first item on my list is chain of custody. If you don't know, chain of custody is a piece of paper that everyone signs their name on whenever they take ownership of a specific device. Now, there is one place where chain of custody is actually very useful, but we'll get to it a little later. Generally speaking, no one cares about chain of custody. You have like this one guy in the company who runs around and trying to convince everybody about how important it is, and everyone else is like, yeah, dude, whatever. What usually happens is you have this form, and when Messenger picks up, let's say, a phone, they have to write their name, that I took the phone, and then they bring it to the office and they sign out that they've handed it to project manager. Project manager writes, I got the device, giving it to head forensic tech gives it to junior forensic tech, and then it goes backwards and you have this whole history, but no one really cares. It's not helpful at all. And sometimes people like just gonna skip a couple of steps, like it doesn't really matter whether the person had it or didn't have it. It doesn't change anything. There's nothing you're gonna prove by knowing whether junior forensic tech had it at some point or they didn't have it. And that's kind of how most people treat it. They treat it like as an annoyance, and it's like, yeah, just whatever, just sign something and move on. The only time I found chain of custody useful is when multiple vendors are handling same device. So for example, a laptop, maybe one vendor had it, then they gave it to a different vendor, and then it went to another vendor or came back or whichever. And that is really important because if there's ever a question of data spoliation, you know which vendor to go to and question them about it. You know who's at fault for messing up dates or something like that. But when it's within the company, it doesn't matter if it's person A or person B messed it up. It was in possession of that particular company, and that's all there is to it. Next thing is dealing with errors. What I noticed is as our ediscovery software gets better, more mature, the worse it gets at allowing users to deal with errors. The older software used to expect that there are going to be problems, there are going to be issues, and people will need to fix it. So they would have more tools of dealing with problems. The newer software is like, yeah, just report and kind of move on. And that's how I feel users are treated as well. Like, oh yeah, we got some errors, okay, whatever, just put it on the log and just kind of ship it out. We don't really look at it, and we don't really want to resolve any of these errors. We want to just kind of move on. And another reason for that is processing, where usually errors happen, isn't being treated as like a thing anymore. It's kind of nuisance, like just get it processed so we get it to review quicker or get it to the AI tool quicker. No one really cares about processing, and so that's why people don't put any effort into dealing with errors. And the last item is OCR and searchable PDFs. Now, if you've seen OCR software, there are a bunch of different options you can select as to how to OCR documents, what kind of document type it is, what kind of scanned quality it is, but we don't really care about it. We're just kind of like, hey, we have to do OCR, let's hit the OCR button. Did OCR finish? It finished. That means we're done with OCR. All right, ship it out. And I've been guilty of this myself. I have a guy on my team who's always like tells me, hey, we can actually get better quality OCR if we do this, but we can use this engine or we can use these settings. And I'm like, dude, whatever, just get an OCR. That doesn't matter, So that's kind of what we, I think, have in our brains is OCR. It doesn't matter. We have to do it because someone asked us to do it. And as long as you did it, and you can go to searchable PDF, drag the mouse over, you see things highlight, good enough. No one really cares if it's accurate or not accurate. As long as you're complying with the requirement of searchable PDFs, if they're searchable, you're done. All right, let me know what else do we do in ediscovery that's sort of half-assed and we're kind of just going through the motions of getting it done. Put it in the comment section below. Don't forget to follow on LinkedIn, subscribe on YouTube, and I will see you on the video.